welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about all the books that I read in June. In June, I hit a pretty huge reading slump. Mainly because I was moving and I had a ton of things going on, and so I didn't read as much as I wanted to, but considering that I had a big reading slump, I didn't do too bad. Let's see, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. 8 books to talk about here, and then another 6 over here. Another 5 over here. So not terrible. I'm going to start just with whatever order it's in, and we'll just talk about it. There's Real Easy by Marie Rutowski. Now, I really wanted to like this because it's a thriller that follows this stripper named Samantha, who was taking her friend home, Georgia, home, and it looks like there was a car accident and there's one person in the car, but what happened to the other person? And it was supposed, I don't know. I just was really bored with this. I thought there were too many perspectives. Like, usually I like a lot of perspectives. You're trying to figure out this mystery. But I was so bored by everything else that was going on that I didn't care about the mystery. And there were just over-the-top disgusting moments. And, like I said, I usually don't mind if there's a lot of different perspectives, but in this case, the fact was that the many different perspectives took away from the story because I never got to know any of them. I just got a couple pages with them, then it went somewhere else, and it was just so crazy and chaotic that it just didn't work for me. But it has a really low Goodreads rating. I think that I ended up DNFing it, but I still gave it 2 stars because it was it was bad. I wouldn't read it. But, oh, that's terrible to start like that. I read Lakewood by Megan Giddings. This was so good. So, I ended up giving this 4 stars. It's not going to be a favorite of all time or a favorite of the year for me personally, but this is a horror novel in which you follow Lena, whose grandma dies, and she has to figure out a way to make some fast money. So she signs up for this experiment that's going to pay her a lot of money. But some of the discussions in here are on race and racism and how white colored skin people get treated differently than black colored skin people, which, racism. This was a really powerful, terrifying novel, and I really enjoyed it. I don't remember if I gave it a 4 or a 4.5, but honestly, it stuck with me. So it's probably more like a 4.5, but I very much so enjoyed this terrifying novel. At the beginning of the year, or at the beginning of the month, I read Good Company by Cynthia Deprex Sweeney, and The Girls Are All So Nice Here by Lori Elizabeth Flynn. I distinctly remember listening to both of these on audiobook while I was setting up my library and while I was moving from my house from my rental to my house. And I had fond memories of the experience, but unfortunately both of these books didn't really work for me. So Good Company is like a contemporary fiction novel, but it was more of like a character study and just talked about these different relationships, but I don't remember much of a plot. Oh, okay. I do remember the plot. Like I said, it's more of like a character study. I particularly didn't like either of these. But let's talk about The Girls Are All So Nice here and why I didn't love this one. This one also felt more like a character study about this mystery that happened 10 years ago when Amber was in college. Her best friend, it is said that her best friend committed suicide, but not everyone believes that. And so you kind of learn what people think happened to her best friend back in college, and now because of what happened in college, what's happening to her today. But to be quite frank, I didn't really care what was happening to her today because I didn't really like her. And technically, I can read books where there's unlikable characters, but if you want me to be rooting for her, that's just not gonna happen. I think I ultimately gave this one 3 stars. Like, it was fine, but I kind of feel like it was a mediocre thriller. I do read a lot of thrillers, so it was a fine thriller, but nothing like super memorable. Oh my goodness. Then I read Such a Quiet Place by Megan Miranda. This is like a housewifey murder mystery. It takes place in this small town, actually in this small like cul-de-sac area in this neighborhood. So it's like a neighborhood thriller. I find that Megan Miranda is a very cozy type of author for me. I don't really remember a lot of this book. And I didn't read it that long ago. Kind of towards the beginning of the month. But, like, I think it was fine. I think I gave it a 3 star because I normally give Megan Miranda a 3 star. But now that I'm thinking about it, it's kind of forgettable. Not the best of Megan Miranda's work. Whew. Man, I'm so harsh. Okay, and then we're going to end on the biggest positive. So I read Get a Life, Chloe Brown, Take a Hint, Dani Brown, and Act Your Age, Eve Brown, which I don't own. But this entire trilogy was so cute and like steamy, but I really felt that Chloe, Dani, and Eve were their own characters. And they were all such different love stories that I particularly, my heart belongs to Eve Brown. Like, I love her so much. Because I found out in my research that Talia Hibbert she has Asperger's. She has fibromyalgia. And it just, in Act Your Age, Eve Brown, you could tell that it was coming from a sacred place in her heart when she's writing about someone with Asperger's or on the spectrum. And you could tell that it was very, very personal to her. I mean, all 3 of these were very personal romances, but especially Eve Brown and Chloe Brown. Like, these are just top tier 5-star romances Dani Brown was my least favorite. It's still a 4-star book, and I still had fun with it. But I just love the disability rep in Eve Brown and Chloe Brown. And Get a Life Chloe Brown has this special place with me because you follow Chloe Brown, who almost dies one day. And then she realizes that her life is kind of boring. So she wants to get a life. And she creates this list of things that she wants to do. Basically like a bucket list, but she doesn't call it a bucket list. She calls it a get a life list. And then she recruits Red. And at first they hate each other. It's like hate to love, really slow burn, and you just get these little moments between Chloe and Red, and it was just so stinking cute. I really, really enjoyed this one, and I really, really enjoyed Eve Brown. I mean, the whole trilogy, like companion novel trilogy, I highly recommend, but my favorite two are Eve Brown and Chloe Brown, so please, like, if you haven't read these books yet, please do. I'm going to quickly go over these books, but I'm not going to tell you any of my thoughts on them. Okay? I'm just going to give you a thumbs up, medium, like, it was alright, or a thumbs down, as in I didn't like it. But to be honest with you, they're almost all thumbs up. So let's just get it over with and talk about the only middle. Like, it was fine, but I'm not going to give you any thoughts because I'm currently doing a reading vlog for the Summerland Readathon, which ends on Sunday. Hopefully, my vlog will be up on Monday, but we'll see, you know, because life. But this one is my only middle of the ground book that I am going to talk about. 2 A.M. Thoughts by Mackenzie Campbell. It's poetry, but you'll see in that vlog. This will come up before the vlog, but I promise that vlog will be right out. So don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want more content from me. It really does help my channel a lot. Then I read Happy Place by Emily Henry, and what do you think? Maybe my favorite book of the year. Maybe. For sure. Then I didn't realize this was the second in a series, so I might try and get the first one on my TBR for July. Like, it's not on my TBR, but I might try to squeeze it in to read it. And so I read Not Like the Movies by Carrie Winfrey. Can you tell? I'll just like do facial expressions and see if you can tell if I like them or not. Then I have The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. This is the second in the Mr. Wrong Number series. I loved this book more than Mr. Wrong Number. But I'm not going to give you like my full thoughts here. Like, I can't. And then the last one that I read was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. It was fine. But it's actually not my least favorite Emily Henry. People We Meet on Vacation is my least favorite. This one is one above People We Meet on Vacation, but below Beach Read and definitely below Happy Place. But it was alright. It was just fine. Like I said, you have to watch that vlog to understand all my thoughts, but I feel like that's a pretty decent amount. I feel like that's like 13-ish books. So I hope you enjoyed this wrap up. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more more of Bella Boo. Yeah, she usually sits in here because she loves the carpet in here. It's really nice and soft. So I don't blame her at all. I will see you guys in the next video.